The United States and Iran appear to be edging closer to a major breakthrough in negotiations that is aimed at ending the ongoing West Asia conflict, with reports suggesting Tehran has agreed in principle to give up its stockpile of highly enriched uranium as part of a broader peace deal. And according to two U.S. officials quoted by the international news agency, the proposed agreement could pave the way for easing regional tensions, reopening the strategically crucial Strait of Hormuz, and reviving stalled diplomatic ties between Washington and Tehran. U.S. President Donald Trump recently stated that the two sides were close to finalizing an agreement, though he stopped short of revealing the full details. American officials later indicated that Iran had broadly accepted the idea of relinquishing its stockpile of uranium enriched to near weapons-grade levels. However, the exact mechanism for how the uranium would be transferred, diluted, or neutralized is still under negotiation and is expected to be discussed in a later phase of talks. The issue remains one of the most sensitive points in the negotiations, and according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, Iran currently possesses nearly 400 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60% purity, dangerously close to the 90% level typically associated with weapons-grade material. Israel officials have also repeatedly argued that the stockpile could potentially be refined further to produce material for multiple nuclear weapons, and the reported concession marks a dramatic shift in Tehran's position. Just days earlier, Iranian reports claimed that Supreme Leader Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei had directed that the uranium stockpile should never leave Iranian territory. And according to the senior Iranian officials, Tehran believes sending the material abroad would leave the country vulnerable to future attacks by the United States or Israel. Iranian leaders also remain deeply suspicious that the current ceasefire could simply be a tactical pause before renewed military action. And the conflict escalated sharply after US and Israel strikes on Iranian targets earlier this year. Attacks that reportedly killed several senior Iranian figures and derailed nuclear negotiations for the second time in less than a year. And in retaliation, Iran targeted Israel and American military bases across the region, while tensions spread further with clashes involving Iran-backed Hezbollah forces in Lebanon. The crisis also threatened global energy markets as Tehran tightened its grip over the Strait of Hormuz, that is one of the world's most critical oil shipping routes. American officials reportedly warned that unless it made at least a preliminary commitment regarding the uranium stockpile, negotiations could collapse entirely, potentially leading to renewed military operations. And reports also suggest that US military planners had already prepared contingency plans targeting Iran's underground uranium reserves at the Isfahan nuclear facility. Options under consideration reportedly included bunker-busting bombs capable of destroying deeply buried nuclear material. And at one stage, President Donald Trump also considered authorizing a joint US-Israel commando raid to seize the uranium stockpile, though the operation was ultimately rejected due to the high risk involved. And one proposal currently being discussed resembles the framework used under the 2015 nuclear agreement negotiated during the administration of former US President Barack Obama, when Iran transferred much of its enriched uranium stockpile to Russia. And another possibility involves diluting the uranium under international supervision, making it unusable for weapons development while still allowing limited civilian nuclear activities. And the next stage of negotiations is expected to focus on Iran's future uranium enrichment program. While Washington reportedly wants a long-term halt to enrichment activities, Tehran is pushing for a much shorter timeline and continues to insist on recognition of its rights to pursue civilian nuclear development. Iran has also argued that some enriched uranium is necessary for medical research and for operating its Tehran research reactor. And the proposed agreement is also expected to include the release of billions of dollars in frozen Iranian assets held overseas. And according to the reports, much of the reconstruction-related funding would only be unlocked after a final nuclear deal is signed, giving Tehran a strong incentive to continue negotiations. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.